Hey everybody, Ray Kaufman here. Going to give you a quick review of the Castlevania Netflix series, the first 4 episodes of the season 1. What I thought, what I caught, and kind of where I think it's going. So stay tuned. Alright, so spoiler warning, if you have not seen the whole show, whatever, all 4 episodes, hour and a half of it, cut away now if you don't want spoilers, because it's going to be very spoiler heavy. I'm going into the show, I'm going into the games that kind of built the story, so I'll give you a quick second. Okay, I'm starting. Right off the bat, they introduce the Lisa character. She's coming to Castlevania, she's seeking the knowledge of Dracula, and they kind of cutely kind of butt heads, developing their short love story, kind of giving you some background on where they're at, because it starts in 1455, and then there's a short thing with her kind of winning Dracula over and him agreeing to help her and him admitting that he likes her. Fast forward 20 years, 1475, she gets burned at the stake, and this kind of sets into motion the whole unrelenting cruelty of this first 4 episodes of the show, and it should be. It's very visceral. It's very gruesome and gory. But if you think back to the old Castlevania games, like there'd be scenes where you're going through a castle or a mansion where there's little 8-bit skeletons with tattered clothing hanging from nooses and stuff like that. Well, those were once villagers. You didn't think that about that back when you're playing the games, but it was there in the background of 8-bit. She gets burned at the stake. Dracula comes back, finds out about it. He is enraged, and it kind of makes sense that he would react that way. So, but what this show did well that a lot of shows don't, in movies too, they give you a villain who you're supposed to empathize with, but you're not supposed to like the villain. A lot of times I'll find in movies and stuff, I'll be like, I agree with the villain. In this one, I do not agree with the villain. You're not supposed to like Dracula, you're supposed to empathize with him, which I got that. They did it very well. The church and the whole scene with the destruction of the town they were at, it elicited images of the show, the manga Berserk, like especially like the Great Eclipse, which is one of the most horrific scenes in all of kind of fiction, you know. But it was hellfire, brimstone, you know, people getting murdered in the streets. It really displayed Dracula's power, and a great little Easter egg. one of the classic tracks, audio tracks from Castlevania, there's a track called Bloody Tears. It was in Castlevania 2. When Dracula becomes enraged, he's talking to the old woman at the burned house. He's crying blood, the Bloody Tears. So that was a nice little Easter egg that I caught. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Fast forward a year after that, he gives the warning, and he comes back, and he blows up the cathedral, the Catholic cathedral. He comes down as a vision from the sky and rains death and terror on everybody. And that whole first episode is setting up Dracula as a very real devil on earth kind of villain, insurmountable evil. And that's how it's supposed to be. And I love how they set up Alucard in that first episode, how he tried to tell Dracula. He wasn't even trying to say don't kill him. He's like, hey, just take care of the ones responsible. Don't kill everybody. I guess he mortally wounds Alucard, and he has to rest in the catacombs where Trevor will eventually find him, which is right out of the game. So Dracula was set up as very powerful but empathetic character, but very evil, very dark. And the imagery and the artwork from this first episode was gory and grotesque, but it was amazing at the same time, because the shots of Dracula coming out of the sky as the fire, and then when Castlevania rose out of the ground where the cathedral once was awesome, because it was like very symbolic. And when the crows and bats, or the ravens and bats and everything, were swarming the castle, and they made the image of Dracula, that's horrifying. Like if you were there looking at that, that'd be horrifying, because you're like, I'm not getting out of here alive. So that first episode was really good, I thought. And then it ended with kind of down and out vagabond Trevor going from pub to pub, getting drunk, hanging out, not doing much with his life, not being what he's supposed to be, certainly. So that's where the first episode leaves us. And that was very good. I loved it. I was ready for more. I was ready to get to know the characters. And the next 3 episodes were just that, getting to know the characters. Trevor was a vagabond, like I said, down and out. You know, the Belmont family had been run out of town, excommunicated, and they were just. I guess he says he's the last son of the Belmonts. I guess there were some women, aunts, and whatever around, but he's the last son. And then you get introduced to the speakers, and also more stuff with the destruction of the major cities of Wallachia, which I always thought that was pronounced Wallachia, but you know, I mispronounce stuff all the time. Go back and look at my Shenmue 3 reaction from a couple years ago. I always thought it was called Shenmue. That's just how I saw it spelled, you know what I mean? So anyway, enough of that, my mispronunciations. When he approaches the town, there's a monster that's got a baby in its mouth. Horrifying. And they knew what they were doing. They wrote that because they cut right to a scene where that baby had been taken out of the crib, and the mother's finding the dead dad and the empty crib with blood in it and everything. And so they knew what they were doing. They're dropping heavy, visceral imagery on you. It's horrifying. He winds up in the town. He meets the speakers who, you know, they're looking for Sypha, who's gone missing, who went to look for the sleeping warrior. Him finding Sypha in stone was awesome, and then the fact that he fought the Cyclops to free her was even better, because that's right out of the game. And that showed me that these people, at least members of the team, the staff that was doing the show, knew what they were doing. They knew the source material, they were following it, they were taking their liberties and doing their own thing, creating a world of, you know, peasants and side characters and stuff like that, which you have to do to tell a good story, and they did that. But they kept the core things there. The bishop, of course, he's evil. You know, he's an evil man. He's killing people. He's trying to use the church and religion to control people and for his own selfish gains, to become powerful, basically. And then the monsters, when they siege the city, that was great. It was a great scene. Again, beautiful artwork. They knew what they were doing. Sypha used the fire and the ice magic, which was awesome. So they go into the underground keep. They find Alucard, you know, down there, and there's a fight. There's a great battle. That battle was awesome. Just the stuff that Trevor was doing with the whip, that was great. And so basically, that's the 4 episodes, the story in a nutshell. There are other things there, but I want to keep this review quick, and I want to get to some other things that I noticed. Now to the Easter eggs. I mentioned the Bloody Tears thing. There was when they fell into the underground keep and they were on the gears, you know, the gears, just like the clock tower levels of the old Castlevania games. They threw that in there. They were having to traverse the gears and use the whip to get to different places, and that was badass. You know, as a fan, I was like, they put this in here for me. They did. They put this in here for the fans, you know, and because the fans, nobody else is going to get that. Everybody else is like, oh, that's a cool device. Okay, it's a cool story. But the fans, the story plot device, but the fans know why that's in there. So I thought that was cool. There was a big one. There's a big Symphony of the Night Easter egg. They were talking about how the speakers pass down knowledge through time. Like from the future, they can pass stories from the future to the past. And there's a legend of a sleeping warrior. Well, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, I believe that takes place, 1796 is when Alucard has to wake up again, and he helps straighten out the craziness from Dracula. He helps Richter and Maria Renard, but then he goes back to sleep after that. That's kind of what he does. He sleeps so that his bloodline can't infect the earth or whatever. So I think it would be 1476 is when he's waken up by Trevor to help with Dracula. So he basically goes to sleep for another 320 years after that. So he would have been asleep for centuries when that story got back to them from the future. So that's kind of a Symphony of the Night Easter egg. Another one was when they were Trevor and Alucard were having their battle. In Symphony of the Night, one of the special sword moves is this teleportation where Alucard turns red, teleports behind the person, slashes, and comes back. He totally did that in the fight. I was like, man, you know, these people, there's somebody on that staff paying attention, if not all of them, you know. So that was really good. I thought the characters were all well written. I hated the bishop. I don't like Dracula. I sympathize with Trevor. I got Trevor, Alucard, Sypha, even the Elder Speaker. He didn't have a name, I don't think, but the Elder Speaker, you know. You kind of felt for all those characters. You got that they were well-written characters. And Trevor went from a drunk, not doing anything, to the end of the third episode later, on a mission. He had taught some people how to fight these monsters, and he was ready to go. The last thing I want to talk about is people were saying Grant's not going to be in this. In one of my reaction videos, I showed where Grant is actually going to be in it, and they show him in the intro animation for the first episode, which was amazing, by the way. He's at the end of an alley. He's looking down the alley. You can see he's got the do-rag bandana thing on, and the reason I think it's him because it shows Trevor, and then it shows this guy. Then it shows Sypha and then Alucard, and that's the order you get them in Castlevania 3. You start as Trevor, then you get Grant, then you can either get Sypha or go a different way and get Alucard, but they all show up in that order. So I think he's coming. I think he's going to be in the next set of episodes. They keep saying that the next set of episodes is going to be 8 Season 2 episodes. I don't think that's true. Warren Ellis wrote a treatment that was supposed to be a Castlevania trilogy years ago. And I think that's what they're developing here. I really do. It's supposed to be Dracula's Curse. I think that's what they're doing here. I think basically this is the first act. And it was a great opening act. I really loved it. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. I just hope we don't have to wait a year to get it. You know, I mean, it's 8 episodes. So I think when it's all said and done, there'll be 12 episodes telling the story of Dracula's Curse. What I would like to see, what I think would be really cool, is if they took some stuff from Curse of Darkness, which is a story that takes place after Dracula's Curse with Trevor, and it centers around a character named Hector. I would like to see the Devil Forge Masters a little bit in these next 8 episodes. I would like to see Medusa and some of the other monsters. But I think it'd be a nice little Easter egg for the fans if they put him in there. And I'm going to go ahead and say, if you're going to cast a voice actor for Death, I would love to see Steve Bloom play that character. Because Death is in all the Castlevania storylines, and that would mean that you could cast that great voice actor to play that character in every other season if you want to do the other games as different seasons. So win-win. All in all, I'm going to say a 9 out of 10. I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 just because I do have to say that in some places the frame rate was not great. They skipped some in between frames. The keyframes all look great, but there were some scenes that seemed like they were just keyframes. And I get that the budget wasn't like a huge budget for this, but at the same time, I gotta call them out on that, you know. But that is not unforgivable. It was great, and it was just something I caught and then I forgot about because the story was so good, the art was so good. They did such a great job with this. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. And that's big for me because I had high hopes for this and I was wanting to be really astringent on it because I'm a huge Castlevania fan. Always have been, probably always will be. This just further elevated this. They know what they're doing. It elevated the status of the series with me. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this. But the bishop, when he got what was coming to him, I kind of felt like Dracula should have dealt the death blow, but he summoned those monsters there, and the monsters did it, so I guess by proxy, Dracula did it. So, another reason I'm only giving it a 9 out of 10 is because it is so short. There's only 4 episodes, there's no excuse for that. You all should have launched with about 8 episodes. Or just waited and launched all 12, you know? Just dump those 12 episodes on there. But yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was 9 out of 10, only because, like I said, the frame rate issues, or the missing in-between frames in some of the scenes, and the length of the first 4 episodes. I thought it could have been longer, honestly. But that's what I think. I'm just kind of looking through my notes here again real quick, you know. I think that's... Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, the opening, it was really cool seeing Dracula just a regular dude, trying to be a regular dude, fighting his nature. I thought that was cool. And the symbolism of when the cathedral was destroyed, a Castlevania kind of rose where the cathedral was. I thought that was really cool. And again, a scary visual. And this was full of scary visuals and just dark gothic horror, and it was everything I was hoping it would be and a little bit more. The skills he has with the whip are awesome. The pinpoint precision, I mean, and just his characterization. Richard Armitage's portrayal of the character is great. I love it. He's perfectly cast. I thought all the voice actors did a great job in this. The art team, the music was great. I loved the music. It was very much background music, but it was fantastic. The opening, aces. I loved it. I'm looking forward to more. So I'm not going to keep you all any longer. That's it. That's my review. 9 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Well, if you haven't seen it, you should be watching this now because I spoiled it for you. But I'm looking forward to the next 8 episodes. Let me know what you all thought. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? You know, did I miss anything? I know there's probably some Easter eggs I missed. There's some things I was thinking about to write down and I kind of forgot to, but there was a lot of Easter eggs in there, a lot of nods to different things. And if anybody knows what that damn statue in the middle of Gresham was, the statue with it looked like almost like the Sith Kermit, you know what I mean, meme, and it had like a pole arm or something. If anybody knows what that was, let me know, because that's driving me crazy. I feel like that's something that they want you to know who it is, and I don't know who it is. So if anybody of you all know, tell me. And otherwise, I've got some other videos I'm planning, some other stuff I've been thinking about working on, some ideas I've had, and plus I've got some new art coming out, so be looking for that. And you all have a great week. Go watch Castlevania again, catch some stuff I didn't catch, and let me know what it was. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day.